Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One Only, here with another exciting live stream. Today is August 7th, 2019, and today I'm going to be talking about my day-to-day. I've made some solid progress on my work project. I had 7 objectives that I needed to complete as of last Friday, meaning that I was given the assignment last Friday, and I have until August 16th in order to complete those 7 objectives. I've now completed 5 of those 7, so I now only have 2 objectives left. I'm pretty hyped for that, and I've been having a great time with my work. I've been enjoying my job. Besides work, Ryan said Jet is so lame. He once got, let me guess, a water bottle. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Besides work, I read a good few comics this morning. I dived deep into the new releases that came out this week and just read like a ton of comic books. I actually have a list of comic books that I read today, and I really vibed. I read through a lot. Let's see. Ryan said a water bottle full of hot water in the summer. I feel like that's kind of a reach. Hmm. It wasn't that bad. That does sound like a worse gift though than just a water bottle. Mm. Also, I apologize for any lag. I noticed that YouTube saying, "Hey, you're suffering from some lag there." Blah, 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 blah. So hopefully the lag isn't too strong. Ryan said, "Duel me." So I've been keeping up with DPYGO and like watching his videos, and I've been hoping that he covers something that makes me go, "Dang, I really want to play." Um, Using this new card or this new archetype, and it is yet to happen. So fingers crossed that some new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff comes out that makes me really want to vibe. But besides that, I'm not seeing myself playing Yu-Gi-Oh anytime soon. Beth said, "Hi Jet, how are you?" Fantastic always. Thank you for asking. Yo, Beth, welcome to the stream. Do you have any questions or discussion topics you'd like to go over? Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Also, Matt, Shuri-chan, and Kels, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Also, everyone, don't forget to smash that like button. Let's see. Matt said, "Water bottles? Are we back to old memes?" Then he said, "No, no, no." Shuri-chan said, "Sup." Then Ryan said, "Custom card duel?" And I haven't really been feeling custom cards only because I wish it was automated. I know people have their doubts. They're like, you can't have automated custom card duels, but I don't think that's true. I think you definitely can. Kel said Ayo. Matt said Yu-Gi-Oh! Past XYZ or XZs, depending on how you want to say it, was a mistake. I disagree. I did like Yu-Gi-Oh's Exel. Um, and I think Pendulum Monsters are cool, but I didn't really get into Arc Vive or Arc V, whatever you're supposed to call it. And then I haven't gotten into Vrains, but I haven't given up hope yet. I'm still holding on. I'm glad that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is continuing to progress and grow. Let's see. Kel said, "Hey Beth, where's that waifu tier list?" Well, you guys gotta offer us up some more waifus for Beth to rate. And if Beth's down, we can continue doing more of these Beth waifu tier list things. You guys just have to submit your waifus. Let's see. Then Ryan said, "The old meme. I've found the anti-life equation." That's a nice DC Comics reference, Ryan. Matt said, "Smash that dislike button." Mm-mm-mm, it is an opposite day. Then Beth said, "Welcome to our club." She said, "I will prove to y'all that I can do better than a damn water bottle." We will see. We will see. Then Ryan said, "Evil math project." Matt said, "The Pokemon card game was a mistake." Matt with these hot takes. Let's go. Kel said, "Well, I like Arc V and pendulums." And he was like, hmm. Also, thank you for smashing that like button. We got a 50% like button ratio going down with half of the audience saying that you like the stream. I appreciate it. Let's see. So then Matt said all of it. Then Beth said, "Well, give me them waifus." And then Kel said, "Well, I already submitted on Asui." Well, then you gotta submit new stuff if you already submitted something. Did I already send on? Yeah, I already sent on a Sui to Beth, and she reacted to it. Then Ryan said, "Have you seen the latest episode of Young Justice? Mm. Did a new episode come out today? Because if so, then no. The last episode I saw, they revealed that Aqualad was gay, which really isn't a reveal if you read the comics. Um, Calderon in the comics, Aqualad's full name was already revealed to be gay. Let's see. Beth said, "Submit new waifu scrubs." Then Ryan put some random political thing. Then Matt said, "Me and Ryan submitted Lord Elmaloy the second." Okay, cool. I will now look that up. Do 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 do. Okay, we got a waifu submission here. Do 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 do. So I'm about to send this waifu over. Do, 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 do. And let's see what Beth's thoughts are. Then Kel said, "I don't have any other waifus." Sorry. Then Kel said, "Jet, what's your favorite Pokemon?" See, that's a good ass question, Kels. What is my favorite Pokemon? Maybe, um, it's either like Greninja, Lucario, or Rotom. It's one of the three. Um, Greninja and Lucario, I like their designs. Lucario, I like his design and his powers. Rotom is like a sentient machine Pokemon, and that's what I like about him. That in that he can combine himself with other machines. I'm like, oh, that's cool as fuck. So, it's gonna be one of those three. I'd say Greninja's definitely like bottom tier. Then I love Lucario's design and powers, which would make you think Lucario should be my number one. But Rotom, I'm like, I think someone could make Rotom. I think Rotom could eventually just be a thing. So I kind of vibe with Rotom more. I don't know. What is everyone else's favorite Pokemon? I'd love to hear more about it. Then Ryan said, "Young Justice shows that Aquaman is pansexual, actually, as he is no longer a mere lad." Then Matt said, "Jet doesn't know Pokemon. I imagine that my answer surprised you, Matt." Kel said, "Mine's Floatzel. I have no idea who that is. I'm about to Google that name." Huh. No, it kind of has like a seal look to him. Maybe like a otter. I don't know. I guess seal. Seal is probably closer. Interesting. What about Floatzel do you really vibe with? Then Beth said, "She looks intimidating." Is that a girl, by the way? Lord Elmaloy the second? Because I'm pretty sure it's a dude, but I could be wrong. Then Matt said, "Wasn't expecting the Rotom slide in." Well, I mean, I'm into like sentient machines and stuff like that, and that's pretty much all Rotom is. So I'm surprised that you're surprised. Then Beth said, "Eevee greater than Rotom." Beth is a big fan of Eevee, especially Jolteon. I always want to call him Volteon instead of Jolteon. But I'm glad that I caught myself. Matt said Greninja and Lucario are to be expected since Smash. I think I knew about Lucario before Smash. I don't know if I knew about Greninja before. Actually, did I know about Greninja before Smash? Because I remember when I really got into Greninja is when they introduced Ash Greninja. Like the idea that like he can like spiritually bond with Greninja, and they have such a great friendship that it empowers Greninja and it gives them like a Super Saiyan esque kind of boost. I was like, what is this? That made me somewhat interested in Pokemon for a little bit, but not really. Just enough to watch Ash Greninja fights. Beth said, "I don't really vibe with Rotom, to be honest, and that's totally fine. Like I said, I'm just really into sentient machine stuff. That's why I'm so into like emo shape and like exolife technology and stuff like that, and why I'm making my game that has like sentient AI characters and stuff. I'm really into that." Let's see. Matt said Rotom can also possess various applications, so that's cool, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's true. Similar to Eevee, actually, when you think about it. Eevee's different, of course, because it's like a evolved form into like a specific element. But Rotom is like, yo, you combine me with a washing machine, I'm water type now. Combine me with a lawnmower, I'm grass type now. Which I think is a weird flex, but okay, you do you, Rotom. I think it's an interesting idea. Then Matt said Blastoise is top tier. And then Matt said Lord equals girl win. It could. You can pick your royal titles to a certain degree. Kel said one day, I just remembered Floatzel from a Pokemon movie, looked him up, and was like, yeah. Beth said, I almost always play Lucario whenever I play Smash. My go tos in Smash are Me Gunner and Sonic. And then if neither of them, maybe Pac Man. And then after that, Mega Man. And I think those would be my go tos. Probably in that order. That would probably be the way that I went about it. Then Matt said, I don't even believe Floatzel is in a Pokemon movie. He said, I think at most it's a Buizel. My goodness. Oh, like the smaller version of it? Then Beth said, yeah, he is. He is in Rise of Darkrai. That's such a very specific. Beth was on it. She was ready to call you out. Uh, and I find that interesting. That was cool. Let's see. Matt said, or a background Pokemon that isn't important. Mm. Let's see. One thing that I rarely do on these streams is talk about like my highlights for the day. I would say that my highlights for today, um, when I woke up this morning, I had a chance to read like a lot of new comics that came out. And normally I don't have a lot of time to catch up on new comics. A matter of fact, last week there were plenty of new comics that came out that I like didn't get a chance to read. This week I read like a majority of them all at once and I really vibed with it. And I also really enjoyed a bonding moment that I had with my niece today. I was teaching her about different superheroes by showing her different DC superhero girls dolls on Google. And she really vibes with Starfire. And she thinks that Starfire is a really cool character. And I thought that was cool. So I'd say those are like some of my highlights for today. Let's see. Kel said, I'm in Roy, We Fit trainer, and am currently learning Ridley. Ooh. I have some friends who really like Ridley. I feel like my friend CJ really vibed with Ridley. Ryan said, I've seen Rise of Darkrai. I have not. Then Matt said, I main Nikita. Nikita. Who is Nikita? Smash Smash Bros? Oh, it's just another way of saying snake. Awesome. Yeah, from Metal Gear Solid. Cool. Matt's like, haha, I'm getting you. Let's see. Kel said, Matt, Floatzel is my boy. And then Matt said, Floatzel is meh. Ryan said, Starfire is cool when she can into clothes. She sometimes is not very into clothes. Then Beth said, have you had any good bonding moments with me today? Haha. So I think it's interesting when I introduce like new stuff to you, Beth, seeing how you'll react to it. I do actually really vibe to seeing what your tastes are for different things. Like I did really like when you were like, "Hey, I checked out that Killer Frost comic that you sent me, and I think it's like my favorite comic. Like it even surpassed like the Vixen comic." And I liked when you were like, I don't think I've read any like bad comics recently because I'm like, oh cool, that means that I'm like doing a good job with recommending comics because it seems like so far I haven't recommended a comic yet that you didn't enjoy. Um, I liked when I sent you the Jessica Cruz image, which I like just did like a little while ago, and you were like really vibing with the design because I think you'd really vibe with her character. You really like redemption arcs and you really like characters that you can relate to. And I feel like she has like a very relatable redemption arc about learning how to like overcome your fear. I just think you'll really like it. Stuff like that I vibe with. Let's see. Matt said no jet. I mean only Nikita. Unless Nikita is specifically the missile. Is it the missile, like shooting the rocket, and not just Snake himself? Hmm. Then Beth said, I agree with Matt on Floatzel being meh. And then Matt said, it is his side B, yes. Okay, understandable. I see where you're coming from. Mm. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to know what Powerade I'm drinking, this is the strawberry lemonade Powerade. It's not like the best in the world, but it's not bad. My favorite Powerade slash Gatorade flavor is lemon lime. That's normally my go-to. Matt said, in all seriousness, I do main Snake, Roy, and Captain Falcon. So hey, I'm glad that everybody's sharing their smash mains. I'm curious if my main list that I gave earlier was a little too long, and also if it wasn't entirely accurate. Because I noticed that I named past like the top three that I would pick, but I also left out like Lucario and Greninja, who are people who I've played before, but don't play a lot nowadays. But I still used to play them quite a bit. Let's see. Kel said, "Well, you know what? Float Zek Gang Gang." I feel like I said that in such a wholesome way. I guess I didn't expect you to say Gang Gang. Ryan said, I don't play Smash. And then Kells corrected his previous comment to say Floatzel. And then Ryan said, never had one. Understandable. I only had two Nintendo consoles, like my whole life, a GameCube and a Nintendo 64. And I bought the Nintendo 64 later on in life and only bought like one or two games for it. I think I have like Ocarina of Time, maybe. I'm not sure if I actually do. And like a Star Wars game on N64. I kind of bought it on impulse just to have another console and then I like never played it. And then for the GameCube, I never owned a Smash title. I never really got into Smash Brothers. So I've only ever played Smash games at the homes of friends. I've never like actually owned one. Let's see. Beth said I also played Marth and Ike a good bit, and sometimes Pit the Angel. Then Matt said not to be confused with Pit the Devil. Yeah, isn't it like there's Dark Pit and Normal Pit? It was interesting for you to specify Pit the Angel. Isn't Dark Pit also just an angel? He's just kind of like a dark angel kind of thing. Then Matt said yes. No, thank you, Matt, for the hashtag clarification. What is the opposite of a pit? Because a pit is like a hole in the ground. I guess a mound, like a mound of dirt, would be the opposite of a pit. So pit the angel versus mound the devil, I guess. And are angels and the devil are not the exact reverse of each other. It'd be like demon. So it'd be like pit the angel versus mound the demon. Not to be confused with Mound's dark chocolate almond joys. Matt said he is a dark clone of Pit made by a mirror, like a magic mirror, or like if Pit looks at his reflection, he just has like an evil twin. Like, is it like a special mirror? Then Beth said, I got a dip. Gonna get that surprise cosplay thing going. Okay, well, I hope you have a fun time doing your cosplay thing. Ba-ba-ba-bow. Matt said, magic mirror, Jack. Come on now. Well, how am I supposed to know? I don't know a lot about Kid Icarus. So how would I know? It's a magic mirror. One of his powers could just be like, hey, I never look at myself. Causes too many problems. Mm. This is refreshing. I am enjoying this power read so far. Mm. Now, two-thirds of the audience has smashed that like button. We're getting pretty close to a 100% like ratio here. Mm. Kel said, right now I'm making my Pokemon Dream Team. Hmm, that's a good question, I guess. How many people, well, not people, how many Pokemon can you have on your Pokemon Dream Team? If so, I guess I would come up with my Pokemon Dream Team. If you can only have three, then I feel like it'll be really easy. If you can have more than three, then I might have to actually look some stuff up about Pokemon. Let's see. Matt said Pitt already has his own problems as it is, such as not being able to fly on his own. He also never learned to read. What? Pitt's illiterate? Why is he illiterate? Then Ryan said 15 Pokemon. I think that's too many. And then Matt said six Pokemon team is the standard. Six. Then Kel said you can have six Pokemon on a team. Well, I would probably have Lucario as my psychic type, I guess. Rotom as he can kind of fit in for any type depending on like the version of Rotom that I use. And wait a minute. Rotom having multiple types depending on like his combo makes him very interesting. So I could have a whole bunch. I could actually just have multiple Rotoms to fill up the rest of the list. So four Rotoms, a Lucario, and Greninja. Let's see. Then Matt said Lucario, the psychic type, incredible. Then Matt said you generally also can't have duplicates in a team, so I can't just fill the team with a bunch of Rotoms. I see. This is going to be harder than I thought. Okay, time to learn about Pokemon, I guess. So let's see. Then Matt said Lucario is a fighting steel type jet. Know the lore. Lucario legit isn't a psychic Pokemon? Does he just have like psychic moves or something? Why do I feel like Lucario's psychic for some reason? Then Kel said, I don't know that much on the meta or how to make a balanced team, so I just choose the ones I like. Excuse me. Understandable. I'm not trying to make a competitive team. I thought I was gonna burp. Excuse me, I kind of did. Matt said, I don't even believe he can learn psychic moves. What? Also, Matt, why do you spell psychic incorrectly? Right now you're spelling like Physic. You're really close though. Matt said, I think the only one he knows is extrasensory. What is the little shadow ball thing that he makes? I always thought that was like a psychic attack, but I could be wrong. That's just what I always thought it was. Mm. Also, do you guys have any recommendations for the other three Pokemon I would put on my team? Because I don't really know a lot of Pokemon, but I can tell you the reasons why I like the Pokemon that I do like. Like I said, uh, I like the design of Greninja. Like I like his attempt at being like a weird frog ninja hybrid, and I like how him when he makes his water shurikens, how it's another like hybrid between like an animal thing and like a ninja thing. And then with Lucario, I really like his energy balls that I thought were psychic energy, but I guess I'm wrong. And I think his design is really cool. Like visually, I think Lucario's cool. And then I explained that Rotom, he's like a sentient machine guy, and he can possess different machines. And I was like, that's really cool. So anything like that, I think I would like. Matt said Ghost type is Shadow Ball. Aura Spear is a fighting type. Interesting. So it's a Ghost type move. And then Matt said never go wrong with Blastoise. Um, I don't think I necessarily get super hyped for a giant turtle. Not saying he's not cool or anything. It's just Gamera can like stay in his corner. I'm not particularly interested in him. But thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Matt said the move you saw was probably Aura Spear. Okay, Aura Sphere. My bad. Mm. Hmm. Are there any other Pokemon that are like Rotom? Um, because Rotom, I think, is my favorite. The more I talk about it. And then Matt said, "But what about a giant turtle with dose cannons?" And it's like, I'm not super hype. The number of cannons does not increase my hype. Speaking of somebody who's really strapped up with weapons and stuff, how do you guys feel about the death battle that's coming up between Lobo and Ghost Rider? Um, because I think Lobo's gonna get bodied, but I'm not sure. Matt says he doesn't care. Okay, understandable. That's totally fine. Um, he said, I know nothing about either. Lobo is really strong, and he has a really solid healing factor. And that's the most that I really know about Lobo, for real. I've mainly read New 52 Lobo, so I haven't read a lot of like old school Lobo. New 52 Lobo is kind of more like a calm and collected bounty hunter or whatever. And old school Lobo is kind of like a weird bicycle fucking. What are they called? They're not called bike bandits. What the fuck? Biker gang. He's like a biker gang dude. uh, but I don't really like old Lobo that much. I'm not a fan of him. But he's really strong, and he normally has a lot of different weapons and shit, and he has a healing factor. Ghost Rider is the literal like spirit of vengeance possessing the body of a mortal man. I'm not sure if Ghost Rider can legitimately die or not. Um, and he has a penance stare which he can use from a distance as if it was laser vision. If he locks eye contact with you, you relive all of your like worst sins, and depending on how much you've sinned, you just die. So it's pretty interesting. I think the penance stare would just immediately kill Lobo, more or less. But we'll see. I'm curious to see how it goes, and if there's stuff about Lobo that I just don't know. Let's see. Kel said, my dream team is Bisharp, don't know who that is. Floatzel, I know who that is now. Haxorus, never heard of that. Zebstrika, hmm. Aggron, okay. Duraludon, and Lucario. Well, I knew two of those things. Time to do some Googling. Matt said we'll still probably watch the Lobo versus Ghost Rider Death Battle. Kel said I don't follow Death Battle really, and I understand where you're coming from. Ryan said Lobo can into space. Can. Can indeed. Matt said I still feel like Johnny Cage got excuse me robbed, and I don't even care for him. Interesting. I guess I need to rewatch that Death Battle. Then Kel said, I'm starting to like Obstagoon though. Hey, I'll Google your Pokemon team once you've stuck to it until you're confident in your team and you're gonna stick to it. I'm not gonna Google all those names. Matt said Captain Falcon brought his car into the fight. Is that one of his powers? I think if a character had a power that was like I can summon my vehicle, then it's fair. I just think that would make sense. Hmm. Oh, Matt. Have you? Well, I don't know why I specified Matt out of everybody else. Um, have you guys heard about Ben 10 Reboot's fourth season? There was a Toy Fair leak where essentially they showed the toys for the fourth season of Ben 10, and with that, we get to know what the next Omnitrix gimmick is. Like the next thing that all his transformations are gonna get. And I'm kind of interested in figuring out why it is that that's going to happen, and I wouldn't mind talking about it. Matt said it's just tech, and when he's talking about the whole Captain Falcon bringing his car in thing. Ryan said Lobo whistles to summon his space bike. Hmm, that is an iconic Lobo thing. Then Matt said he can't manifest cars into existence. Then Matt said, Jet, I don't even pay attention to Ben 10 Remake because it's bad. So why? So I would say that the Ben 10 reboot has gotten better. The farther you get into the show, the better it gets. But if you want to skip right to the show being good, I would say skip to where Vilgax is introduced. You either skip to where Vilgax is introduced. Yeah, actually, yes. Just skip to when Vilgax is introduced and then move forward from there, and it's actually pretty solid. Before, it's like every episode is just like a random Ben 10 adventure, which is fine. But then after the introduction of Vilgax, you start seeing like story driven arcs that make interesting changes to Ben, his supporting cast, and to like the Omnitrix. And I feel like the show gets a lot better. Ryan said Benton remake is not bad. Benton reboot. I don't know why we're calling it a remake. I know they're like similar terms, but I don't know. I feel like remake makes it sound like it's more honest to the original. Reboot helps imply that there are differences between the two. Matt said, yes, it is. Just watch original Benton for a good time. So, I don't like original Ben 10. It's just not as good as I think a lot of people remember it. And I think people remember it with, whatchamacallit, rose colored glasses. Like, it's not the same as you might think it is. Um, but I think the reboot is definitely better. Let's see. And then Matt said, why does Azimuth not exist? I don't know why you spelled Azimuth like that incorrectly. But here is a picture of Azimuth from the reboot. Also, no. No, I think I got Powerade on my keyboard. I'm like, why are those keys sticky? I gotta get like a paper towel. Yeah, that sucks. I'll be right back. Kel said, okay, I'm gonna stick with Bisharp, Floatzel, Haxorus, Zubstrika, Duraldon, Duraludon, and Lucario. I'll be right back. So Matt said, why isn't Azimuth the sole maker of the Omnitrix? Um, so Matt's saying that because I think in a Ben 10 Worlds episode, he said something like the planet Galvin worked together to make the Omnitrix. What I think is funny about that is that if Azimuth now in the reboot canon is not the sole maker of the Omnitrix, it's crazy that Kevin 11 made one by himself because he had a dream. Something's making me think that something got on my laptop, but I don't know what it could be. Because if it was the Powerade, then I don't know how I got it on here. Let's see. Then Matt said, not Matt, Ryan said, but what if he is Ghost? Then Matt said, what even is his importance at this point? And then he said, the more I hear about Kevin, the more I hate the show. Oh, we finally got the amalgam Kevin, by the way. I'll be right back. So you know how Kevin in the original series eventually gets corrupted by too much DNA, and he just becomes like a weird like combo thing. Well, that finally happened in the reboot. Whew. Then Matt said, "Speaking of Ghost, where is Ghost Freak? Ghost Freak has not appeared yet. So we'll see. Excuse me, if he ever shows up." And then Ryan said Kevin finally got a big alien dick. So I'll show you guys the new amalgam Kevin, and I'll hear you guys' opinion on it. Because I actually am very curious to see, do you guys like the design of the amalgam Kevin, or do you think it is hot booty cheeks? You decide. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Matt said he is one of the best of the original Ben 10 villains. Well, they changed his design. Then Matt said until Omniverse ruined him by making Ben a racist. How did making, for one, I don't agree that they made Ben racist, but how would making Ben a racist ruin Kevin 11? Let's see. Then Ryan said, ruined him how? So, what do you guys think of reboot Kevin 11's amalgam monster form? The way that they do it in the reboot is that Charmcaster uses her magic to transform Kevin 11 into a combination of all of Kevin's aliens. So instead of Kevin being a combo of all of Ben's aliens, he's a combo of all the aliens that are in Kevin's watch. But this design, I think, is not very good. I am not a fan of the way that they decided to go about making Monster Kevin 11. For one, I don't like that he doesn't have legs. I think that was a really weird choice to not give him legs. I would say weird and short-sighted. I don't know. Why would I want to see like a weird slithering around Kevin 11? It just seems unnecessary. I do think his face looks too much like Kevin's normal face. Um, I don't want to see Kevin's hair form a weird beard thing on his chin. Maybe that's what I hate about it. Because even the other Kevin 11 design had the hair on his head, but normal Kevin doesn't even have a beard. I don't even know why he has that. That's really weird. There's just so much going on in this design, but like in a bad way. I actually just really don't vibe Amalgam Kevin. Let's see. Ryan said wood smash. Matt said, what even is this design? The whole point of Amalgam Kevin was to pose a threat to Ben by having every one of Ben's aliens at once facing Ben. So I liked what the reboot was doing before, where Kevin's Omnitrix was set up in such a way to where he's like, all my alien transformations are similar to Ben's, but unique and inherently better. So he was like, the way that I'm able to be a step up over Ben is that my aliens actually have some kind of boost that makes them better than Ben's normal aliens. And I liked that Ben was able to beat Kevin by being like, I just have more experience transforming into aliens than you. Your transformations might be better, but I'm better at using my transformations. Now they're setting it up where it's like Kevin has access to all his alien powers, and all his alien powers were already better than Ben's. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Ben overcomes that. At the same time, though, I don't like the design for Kevin, and I preferred him having the freedom to turn into whatever he wanted rather than having him stuck as this weird monster thing. I also think it's weird that it's tied into Charmcaster. Like, the only reason why he's like this is because a spell has been casted on him. It's not because he was, like, absorbing too much stuff out of the Omnitrix. And it also makes Kevin like a little bitch boy character. Like, instead of him being his own thing, which is what he was in the reboot, it's now a thing where it's like, oh, he has to be like a servant to another character, more or less. That being said, he was kind of being used by the Forever Knights. But at least whenever the Forever Knights gave him orders, he was like, I kind of still want to do my own thing. Like, I kind of still don't give a fuck. Now he's like a magic slave. And I'm like, I feel like it could have been better. Let's see. Then Matt said, if Kevin just has his own aliens and then goes amalgam, what is the point? He said, also, can we go over that Kevin just found alien DNA in a bunch of junk? I do think that's really weird. Like, I don't fully understand how the Omnitrix works. I know there were older versions of the Omnitrix in past series that were like, it's not that the DNA is stored in the watch, but that it connects to the codon stream wirelessly, so it's connecting to a planet that has literal rivers of DNA, and it's pulling that information to the watch, and that's how the watch can store so many different aliens. But we know that the Omniverse, not Omniverse, we know that the reboot Omnitrix does just straight up store the DNA. We've actually seen the inside of the Omnitrix and know that it has DNA pods. So we know that it's not like that. It's not some weird wireless streaming thing, which means Kevin either knows how to make alien DNA pods, like he had to like synthetically do it, or he, like Matt said, had to be able to find alien DNA. I think he can synthetically create DNA pods. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense that he could upgrade them unless he also re engineered the genes of aliens. Then Matt said, "Why is this okay?" Kel said, "Amalgam Kevin 11 looks like some random boss in an anime game." I could see that, like in an RPG. Matt said, as a side note, why is Charmcaster just a goth 10-year-old? So, believe it or not, Matt, I think in the reboot, they made Charmcaster a separate character from Hex. You know how in the original series, Charmcaster was like Hex's niece or whatever? I think in the reboot, Charmcaster is her own character. And also that she explicitly doesn't like Gwen. Like she's like it's not that she has anything against Ben specifically. Her and Gwen have beef. But then in the reboot, Gwen doesn't have magical abilities. So Gwen isn't Lucky Girl in the reboot. And I think that's kind of weird cuz now Gwen has a specifically magic-based villain, but she herself isn't magic. One thing that is interesting about Gwen in the reboot, though, there's an episode where she dresses up like a cat. So she has like a cat mask and cat paws and cat boots on, and she learns capoeira, like the breakdancing fighting style that's used by Eddie in like the Tekken games. And she fights alongside Ben and helps him like defeat a few enemies. And I thought that was really interesting. So that's how Gwen helps Ben now. She's just legitimately a martial artist. It's not like a I cast spells thing. She's like I can actually just dance and whoop somebody's ass while dressed like a cat. Let's see. Matt said, "Why are these designs just terrible?" Now I actually don't mind how they've designed reboot Charmcaster. I actually think for her being her own thing and not directly connected to Hex, it makes sense. Because it's like she's just like a girl who's discovered magic. So she's not like I've been trained in the traditional arts and I have all the fancy robes and stuff. She would just be a 10-year-old girl who just learned how to do magic. That just kind of makes sense. Matt said, "So what is Charmcaster's point then?" I think in the episode where she's introduced, it's been a while since I've seen some of the older episodes, which is why I'm fuzzy on it. I think her and Gwen become friends until they're not. There's something that happens that I think makes them have like tension, and then that kind of is what sets it up. So I think it's an episode that's kind of like Gwen makes a new friend, and the friend happens to have powers, and it's like really cool. And then something happens between them that makes them have like friction, and then they don't fuck with each other anymore. Matt said, "Why do the show creators just not care about the characters they're using?" I don't think that's the case. One thing that I've heard that I think is really interesting, Man of Action is the team that came up with Ben 10. And I've heard that after the original series, Man of Action didn't have as much creative control as they did with the original series. So Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and Omniverse, they're like loosely connected, but they're not really having like a strong influence on what's going on. And with the reboot, I've heard Man of Action has like fully taken the reins. So it's the original creators of Ben 10, I guess, doing with Ben 10 what they want to do now, now that they like kind of have full control back. At least that's how I understand the situation. I might be wrong. Let's see. Then Matt said magic was one of the more engaging parts of Gwen's character. Well, not only did they get rid of Gwen having magic, Grandpa Max isn't a plumber. Um, or if he is, they haven't revealed that in like 3 seasons. Though season 3, I don't think is over yet. Matt said, I also personally prefer her connection to Hex, as it means that there is antagonism between her and Ben, and later Gwen, since she picks up quickly on magic. Charmcaster effectively having a life forced into the study of magic is being beaten by an upstart magic user. Now, I did like that dynamic. I did think that dynamic was really cool, and I totally understand where you're coming from with that. Maybe that could still be a thing potentially, but right now it is not. Matt said also bring back the plumbers. I'm curious to see if they will. Grandpa Max has a friend who's really smart to be a normal guy. I'm very curious to see, if he's actually hinting at the fact that Grandpa Max is a plumber, because he can do stuff like look at the Omnitrix and understand like how it works, and he turned the rust bucket into a helicopter slash RV. It's really crazy. I think his name's like Gary or something, but I'm like Gary must be a plumber. There's no way. Then Kel said maybe he's a mechanic instead. Then Matt said, why does Grandpa Max even exist without anything he can do? So Grandpa Max in the episode where Gwen learned capoeira, um, he he's able to open up the RV and it has these big like turntables, like DJ turntables. And when he plays on the turntables, the music, like the sound waves coming from the RV, manifested themselves into like a dragon thing, and he used it to fight back against Ben has a DJ villain now who's kind of like a Daft Punk style character, but he's a villain, and he can create constructs out of sound that he used to try to like flood like a country or whatever. And then Grandpa Max's sound constructs fought back against the DJ's sound constructs. And that's a thing that happened. It was kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of Beyblade, how in Beyblade you just have a top spinning and the tops are hitting each other. But then in the anime they're like, but they have Bay Beast and it animates these monsters fighting each other, but it's just the tops hitting. It's a similar thing with the Grandpa Max versus I think his name is like Lord Decibel or DJ Decibel or something like that, where the sounds are just hitting each other. But it's shown as like like a big monster fight. Let's see. Matt said Gary was the guy we were theorizing was Azimuth back when Vilgax was introduced, correct? I I think you think he's Azimuth. I don't think he's Azimuth, though he does know a lot. He does seem to know a lot about alien tech, but claims to not really know anything about it. Then Matt said, why is this show good again? Then Ryan said, why is it bad? Then Matt said, because it goes over the top in all the wrong ways. Then Ryan said, how so? And then Matt replies, and lore is just sort of tossed around without any real care. I don't think it's being tossed around, it's just they've decided to do different things with it, which I can't get mad at. Also, I just realized Charmcaster's Omniverse outfit is really cool. Her original series outfit is cool. I think her ultimate alien outfit's kind of trash. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, right now I'm checking out the Charmcaster reboot page. So, history. Charmcaster was introduced in the Charm Offensive. While Ben Tennyson and Gwen Tennyson were at Biggie Box, Charmcaster summoned an ice cream monster, which caused mayhem in the store. Ben transformed into Heat Blast to fight the monster, while Charmcaster told Gwen her backstory. She told Gwen how she used to be a regular teenage girl named Heather, who was also a huge fan of Michael Morningstar. One day she found Hex's spell book that he had put on sale at the end of Freaky Gwen Bin. The book awoke the magical potential within her and changed her appearance. After the events of Bright Lights, Black Hearts, Charmcaster shared her energy with Michael to give him back his strength and agreed to help him take down the Tennysons as his girlfriend. Okay, I remember that. I actually remember the Bright Lights, Black Hearts thing. So, Charmcaster ends up, instead of being Hex's minion, being like a Michael Morningstar minion. Michael Morningstar, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he was a character that was originally introduced in Alien Force, but in the reboot, they've introduced like a younger version of him. He's a, in the reboot, he's like a celebrity actor. That's redundant. He's an actor who's really popular, but he's draining the energy out of his groupies, kind of turning them into like zombies, in order to give himself like energy manipulation powers. And in this, apparently, Charmcaster falls for Michael Morningstar before she gets powers, and then after she gets powers, is like, well, now that I have these abilities, um, I want to like go up to Michael Morningstar, like the famous person that she like really vibes with. Maybe it gives her like the confidence to do it. And then by that time, they had already fought Michael Morningstar before, like Ben and Gwen had. So I think he's like, I want revenge, and then she's like, oh cool, well then let's go fuck him up, kind of thing. I think that's what they're going with on that. Matt said, without any real care. But the different things are lesser compared to the original. That's debatable. They still have plenty of time to like play with the execution. Matt said, it's one thing to be different but equally valuable. It's another to just be worse. I don't think everything's worse. Kel said, Omniverse Gwen looks super lame. What? Omniverse Gwen? Omniverse Gwen's pretty dope. I actually like her design. What's your favorite Gwen design, Kels? Um, I feel like Omniverse allowed them to add a few more features to all the characters. Like to add little details here and there. And I like what they did with Omniverse Gwen. I thought it was pretty good. Ryan said Morningstar is a sucky boy. That is true. Matt said, but how much time do these ideas need to breathe? They're already 3 seasons in. Well, not everything that we're talking about are things that were introduced like immediately. You know what I mean? Then Ryan said Omniverse Gwen is not super lame. One thing I do think is dumb is the concept that Charmcaster in this version, instead of like studying Hex's spellbook, they're like it infused her with magical energy. It's like, oh well, that just sounds like anyone could have gotten it. Like anyone who had that book just pretty much would just be like the shit. Oh, I remember this. Um, so Charmcaster Spellbook is actually, as they said in the description, something that was set up in a previous episode called Freaky Gwenbin. But yeah, there was a yard sale thing that they went to, where Hex was trying to get access to this like old school Necronomicon style book. And at the end he doesn't get it, but there's a price tag on it for like $3. So Charmcaster probably bought that bitch for $3. That's kind of interesting. I like that. Let's see. Ryan said, "Give the book to Uncle Max. Make him Magic Max." It would be interesting if they did like a weird twist like that, and Grandpa Max was like the caster instead of Gwen. Um, I don't know. Grandpa Max seems to help out in like the weirdest ways. I remember there's an episode where he gets together with his old tennis buddies, and working with them, they help like save the day. Like Grandpa Max seems to help through weird grandpa isms. Like he does something that's like, back in my day, I used to da na 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 na, and then whatever he used to do is immediately useful for the current situation. So he could be like, back in my day, I used to work my way around a computer, and then he could probably just like hack something. Like back in my day is Grandpa Max's power, it seems. Then Kel said, well, to be honest, I only don't like her transformation design. as a character, I still like her. Oh, do you mean like Omniverse Gwen's Lucky Girl outfit? Because that's interesting. Matt said, make him actually useful. I think Grandpa Max's back in my day power, not power, is useful because it's kind of just written that way. I typed in Grandpa Max on the Ben 10 wiki and it didn't show me shit. Come on, get me there. Oh, you need Max Tennyson. He's not in there as Grandpa Max. Let's see. They don't list any powers for him. I was curious if they were going to have anything that I didn't know. Let's see. Ryan said, back in my day, I fucked an alien. That was true in the OG series. He legitimately did do that. Kel said, yeah, I'm referring to our Omniverse furry superhero costume. Let's look at Omniverse Lucky Girl for a moment. And then Matt said, but that's a silly not power that shouldn't be a thing. Right now, Grandpa Max, as of season 3, I think his big selling point is that he can drive the Rust Copter. And the Rust Copter isn't like just an RV that's been turned into a helicopter. It's actually like a fully functioning aircraft, and I believe it even has like weapon systems and stuff like that. So he kind of is like the pilot, which I guess he's always been, but now it's more important because they have like a weaponized vehicle. So I'd say Grandpa Max has like a role. Like if you don't want to give him a back in my day power, you can just be like he's manning the rust copter and he's gonna use it to try and like come in and like do stuff. Matt said, um, whereas Plumber Max makes him infinity more interesting and capable and explains itself. Why did you say infinity instead of infinitely? He's infinity more capable, guys. Excuse me. Let's check out Omniverse Lucky Girl. Because I noticed that Kells was not a fan. Then Ryan said the Rust Bucket is fully armed in operational battle station. Then Ryan said a chauffeur is a waste of a character. I'd say he's more than a. Oh, oh gosh, that hurt me. You're right. I actually despise Omniverse Lucky Girl. It's because she has like her anodite form, as Lucky Girl, but instead of just looking like a cool energy being, she's a energy being wearing an outfit, and instead of being glowy all over, only her hair is glowing. Oh man, Omniverse Lucky Girl is I remember disliking it. That was just a horrible design. Rip, rip my eyes. Yikes. Beth is currently sending me messages on Le Facebook. Do 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 da 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 do 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 bow 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 bum bum do 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 bum ba da da. Let's see. Kel said, I really don't like her purple skin. Like, ew. So, when it comes to Lucky Girl's purple skin, I think Gwen in her anodite form makes sense. When she's like full anodite, let me send you a picture of this. Because anodite Gwen is pretty bomb. I actually think it's a cool concept. This is what she could have done, and it would have been the shit. But they didn't do that, so it is shit. So let me click to a better picture than that. Hey, there we go. Open image in new tab. Somebody put like a URL on the side or something. That was really weird. Anyways, Anodite Gwen. I think Anodite Gwen actually does look really cool. It's just this stupid Omniverse Lucky Girl Gwen that I think is kind of gross looking. But anyways, we've hit 59 minutes, so I'm about to end the stream. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. Your friend, your boy, Jump Like the One Only, logging out. Thank you all once again, and peace.